Hey everyone, my name is Meera. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about 6 mystery novels. And if you know me, you would probably know that I really enjoy reading thrillers, suspense, and mystery books. I can never have enough of them, as you can probably make out from this video by the end of it. So the thing that's common between all of these 6 books is that there are a bunch of characters who get trapped in a particular location for a period of time. And the reason why I enjoy reading books with such a plot is because you really get to see different shades of human instincts and resilience. Now, this is by no way a recommendations video because some of them I enjoyed moderately, some of them I enjoyed quite a lot. So I'm just going to be telling you what I liked and what I didn't like about each of these books, and you can make up your mind about whether to add them to your TBR or not. So if you're interested, take a look at the description box because I'll be leaving links to all of these books that I'm going to be talking about today. The first book on this list is One by One by Ruth Ware. If you've been following my channel for a while, you would probably know that The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware is one of my all-time favorite thrillers, and I'm always recommending it to people. So ever since then, anything that Ruth Ware writes is on my auto-buy list, and I was really excited to pick up One by One because of the premise. The story follows the lives of employees at a tech company called Snoop. They arrive at a ski chalet for a holiday, and it's supposed to be a time of relaxation and team building, but obviously things are not going to pan out like that. One by one, these guests start to go missing, and the rest of them are trapped at the chalet because there's an avalanche, and so there's no way for them to get help. So that's when the remaining guests take matters into their own hands. One of the main things about the book that I did not like is that the author uses a lot of jargon about skiing and snowy mountainous areas, so that really threw me off. I found myself being confused a lot in the beginning and having to disrupt my reading experience to look up certain terms online. So that really took away from the thrilling atmosphere. Also, in the beginning, the atmosphere, the ambience isn't as inviting as I had thought it would be, considering that it's a mystery novel. So I kept waiting for this moment to arrive that would wow me and get me to be engrossed in the book, and that only happens towards the end of the book. The last 15 chapters is a part that fills you with a slow burning dread because a lot of revelations happen and you realize who the culprit is, and they're probably gonna do more harm now. So I was sitting at the edge of my seat throughout, and I loved that part of the book. Another thing that Ruth Ware does commendably is that she incorporates an app into the plot points itself. So the startup that these employees work at is called Snoop. It's a music plus geolocation based app, and the way that has been incorporated into the plot points is just superb. So I love that bit as well. The entire book is told from two point of views. One of Liz, someone who worked there, and she is really shown as sort of like an outcast, someone who's not accepted into the core group and always finds herself observing and seeing the action take place from the sidelines. The second point of view is that of Erin, who works at the hotel. So it's very interesting to see how the entire mystery unfolds from these two perspectives. And I rated One by One 2.5 stars out of 5 because the first half of the book really underwhelmed me, and there was only so much that the rest of the book could salvage. The second book is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This is a mystery novel that is set on an Irish island where a wedding is supposed to take place. What was meant to be a celebratory weekend turns sour when there is a murder. Even though this book has been labeled a thriller, it's not one per se. It's more of a classic whodunit kind of suspense novel. I loved the atmospheric writing. The location in itself is just so scenic, and Lucy Foley does a great job of making that a significant aspect of how the story is being narrated. The narration follows two different timelines, one which is at the start of the weekend when all the guests are just arriving at the island, and the second being right after the incident. So that factor contributed a lot to making the book engaging. It's not very fast paced, but it's definitely enjoyable. One of the main themes in the book that really stood out to me is toxic masculinity, and you'll see how that affects a lot of the characters in the book. This book is definitely a character driven one, and you get to see backstories of all of these individual characters, so you get to understand them much better. Something I liked a lot about this book is that you form these ideas about all of these characters, but the author does a great job at connecting all of the storylines by the towards the end of the book. I rated The Guest List 3.5 out of 5 stars. The next book is One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus. 5 students are serving detention, but by the end of it, only 4 of them walk out. The 5th student is found dead, and inevitably, the suspicion falls on the others, and their lives turn upside down because of the investigation that ensues. Eventually, people of the town realize that the student who passed away was about to reveal some very dark secrets about these other students. If you enjoy watching TV shows such as Riverdale, Pretty Little Liars, and 13 Reasons Why, then you will really like this book, I'm guessing, because this one's like a mixture of things that happen in all of those shows. The suspenseful writing is definitely one of the best aspects of this book, but why I ended up giving it a really low rating is that the plot developments are not evenly spaced out. So, like a significant chunk of the book revolves around the police questioning these 4 students repeatedly, and to me, it felt like throughout there was no new progress or nothing that made concrete sense. It just felt like the police was going round and round in circles, and so I just wished that things would speed up. The pace did pick up by the end of the book, but by then I had lost interest, and the only reason I was persevering to finish reading the book was because I wanted to know the truth. There are some topics in the book that might disturb you, so if you require trigger warnings, then DM me and I'll let you know what they are. I rated One of Us is Lying 2 out of 5 stars. Next, And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. 10 strangers receive letters from someone they don't know, inviting them to a private island. When they reach there, the host is nowhere to be seen, and they find a paper in the mansion with a nursery rhyme written on it. Much to their shock, murders begin to take place as per what's written in the rhyme. This was such an eventful tale. It is storytelling at its best. Like, there's so much substance to it. There's no point in time when you will feel bored or lose interest in it, because there's just so much happening all the time. It's fast paced, the writing complements the plot, and the ending was mind blowing. The book is really short, and it was engrossing enough that I was able to finish it in one sitting, and I'm pretty sure that you can too. When I was reading the book, it was very evident that these characters had something to hide, and so they all appear to be suspicious. The transition between scenes also happens in such a successive manner that it adds to the atmosphere and creates this tangible sense of suspense. All in all, it's a nail-biting thriller. I am so glad that I picked it up. This was my 3rd Agatha Christie read, and this one convinced me about her superior writing. I rated And Then There Were None 4 out of 5 stars. The 5th book is All Your Twisted Secrets by Diana Irvin. 6 students are invited to have dinner with the mayor. When they reach there, they realize that there's no mayor, and they also get locked in the room. Now, there's a letter on the dining table that says that they must all together pick one of them to die, or they all die because there's a bomb in the room. This is a very predictable read, at least it was to me. I did not like the treatment of toxic high school behavior. Amongst these 6 people, there's one person who's very good at studies, another who's really popular and everyone wants to be friends with that person. There's someone who's like the rebel and the outcast. So it feels like the author has very intentionally picked out stereotypical high school characters, and I did not find any of them to be remotely likable. Now, I don't always need to like the characters that I'm reading in a book for me to enjoy the book, if you know what I mean, but the way they behaved and who their characters are made out to be, it just left a very bad taste, and I found it to be off-putting. Now, it is the structure of the storytelling that kept me from DNFing the book. We get to read both the past and the present and understand how these characters came to be friends, what really happened in their past, what their equations are like. So that was intriguing, and I wanted to know more about, you know, how they've turned out to be the people they are today. I rated All Your Twisted Secrets 2.5 out of 5 stars. The last book I'm going to be talking about today is The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. A college reunion takes place at a hunting lodge in the Scottish Highlands. I read just that in the synopsis and I was already so excited to pick this book up. One of them goes missing and the others become stranded at the hotel because of a snowstorm. So the rest of the guests and the two hotel managers have no choice but to wait out the storm and hope that it's not too late. This book follows two timelines. One right after the friends arrive at the hunting lodge, and the other is after one of them has gone missing. From the beginning, all of these characters are portrayed to be suspicious because many of them have an axe to grind, and so I was constantly trying to analyze their behavior and read closely into their gestures and their thoughts to try and figure out who the culprit might be. And I definitely did have a sense of who it would be, but I wasn't able to figure out the motivation of that character. The author also brings out the power equations between these friends, and that added ample drama to the novel. The atmosphere in the book definitely enhanced the suspense, and what I feel like Lucy Foley's done extremely well, praiseworthy well, is the treatment of isolation. That is like a palpable feeling throughout in the book. Some of the themes that this book explores are toxic friendships, post-war trauma, and stalking. So I definitely enjoyed The Hunting Party a lot more than some of the other books in this list. I rated it 3 out of 5 stars. Those were the 6 books that I wanted to mention in this video. Most of these books have some other similarities as well, apart from the characters being stuck somewhere. Despite that, I was looking for engaging reading. That, coupled with my curiosity, kept me from DNFing these titles. In fact, I don't think I'll ever DNF a mystery or a thriller novel because I want to know who is the culprit and I want to know whether I was right in guessing it. So that's it for this video. If you know of any other such books, then please let me know in the comments because I'd love to add those to my TBR and probably make a part 2 to this video. I hope some of these books intrigued you enough to check them out. Thanks so much for watching and thank you for all your support so far. I will see you soon in another video. Bye!